In this video, we're gonna go over how to get really good results for your health coaching clients online. Everyone focuses on marketing and sales, but one of the best ways you can grow your business is by providing a really good level of service. So in this video, I'm gonna cover everything from onboarding, weekly check-ins, monthly check-ins, and all of the steps you're gonna need to take to have a really good offering that can allow you to charge $2,000 plus for an online health coaching offer. So before we dive in, go ahead and smash the subscribe button right here. I create daily content just like this to help coaches grow and scale their business. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the computer. Okay, so I have it up here. This is gonna be the chart and diagram we're gonna work throughout this. We're gonna start on the left and work our way to the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with step one. Step one is having the sales call. On the sales call, you're gonna be talking about goals, you're gonna be talking about expectations, and this really sets the foundation of what someone's to expect when they work with you. Now, it's important here to not overpromise and over-deliver the results you're gonna get with them within their first 3 to 6 months. You wanna be realistic, and you also really wanna help them paint a picture of how do you actually work together. And what we're going to cover in the rest of this is what you can share with them on the sales call. The more clarity someone has on here's how I'm going to help you go from here to here in this time period, the more likelihood they're going to sign up and be more successful with the process. So as we go through this, use this in your sales calls. Tell people what it looks like to work with you. So first thing you're going to do, you're going to have a sales call. At the end of the sales call, you're going to ask for payment and you're going to send them over an agreement. I personally like collecting payment first and then sending the agreement over second. Now, in the event that someone reads over the agreement and contract and they're like, you know what, this isn't for me, that's okay. We can refund them. It's still going to be in your Stripe or PayPal account. No problem. You may lose a 3% fee, but I found from a workflow standpoint, it's a lot easier to collect the cash on the call, get them to make the investment and the commitment, and then send over same day, if not next day, the coaching agreement that lays out everything that you guys talked about in the sales call and lays out what you're going to do as a coach and what the client's going to do. Now, for this contract, I use Dropbox Sign. It used to be called HelloSign. It's 10 to 12 bucks a month, but anything that goes through here and is signed is now a legal document. So you want to have something in place. I recommend Dropbox Sign for that. Okay? So that's going to be within the first 24 hours. They sign their agreement, they pay you. I like using Stripe as my payment processor. You can also use Wave or PayPal. I find that Stripe integrates best with lots of other online platforms. So I'd recommend looking into Stripe. Okay, so that's step two. We've had a sales call, we've enrolled them. Woo, we're getting started. So after someone submits payment, the next thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna send them an intake form. Now, an intake form is gonna be different than an application because when someone's like applying to work with you or before a sales call, they might not share everything that they're going through. But an intake form, after they've paid you, man, they're gonna unload, right? Because they want your support. They've already signed up for it. So I found that adding another intake form can be really helpful. In the intake form, you want to include all the information and questions that you need to ask to build somebody a personalized protocol or personalized program. So inside of here, it might have things around equipment needs. If you're writing an exercise program, if it's a nutrition plan, what type of foods do they like, right? You want to have a lot of like the logistical questions that help you program. And you also want to add some questions in there about what would make this experience a 10 out of 10 for you. Okay, so I'm going to share with you real quick what we do. Again, this is more for business coaching, but for any client that signs up with us, we have them fill out an intake form. And we use Airtable for all of our client fulfillment. That's going to be a whole nother video because it's an awesome system that we have created. But it all starts off with an intake form that then gets built into our backend system to track all the clients. And it all starts from the intake form. Inside of the intake form, you would ask for their name, email, phone number, address. If you decide to send them awards, t-shirts, swag, any of that stuff, you can ask for address. We send trophies over here when people hit big milestones. So again, all these questions are going to be business coaching questions. I'm going to work through them and then you can see how could I change this and apply this more to my specific coaching program. Okay. So this first one, tell us a little bit about your business. What type of coaching do you do? Do you have a niche? If so, please share. Do you hold any certifications? Totally okay if not. So this could be, tell us about your current fitness routine. Tell us about your current nutrition plan. Tell us about your current If you're more of a life coach, your day-to-day activities, like what do you do in a day? So here's an objective question for us because we track objectively the amount of clients that someone starts with and ends with. So we always ask an objective question. How many clients do you have now? If you have a weight loss program, all right, what's your current weight, right? Boom. Or if you're doing more life coaching, it could be a stress question. How would you rate your stress 0 out of 10 right now? So that you can then show at the end of the 3 to 6 months, the transformation, okay? So we're gonna ask one more metric question. How much money is your coaching program making right now? Because again, we're also tracking how much money they made from start to finish so that we can show in our marketing, hey, the average client does blank, right? So encourage you to track at least 1, if not 2 metrics. You don't have to track a ton, but at least 2. That's going to be important for your coaching experience. We got, please share your Instagram handle. Don't worry about that one too much. That's just for us because we like to welcome people when they join the community. In the next section here are going to be more questions. They're going to be more subjective to include, right? Have you been in a group or private coaching program before? If so, what was your experience? What worked and what didn't? So if you're delivering coaching and someone had a really terrible experience with coaching, you can figure out why here so you can catch it and make sure you deliver a really good level of support. If yes, why or why not were you successful? Again, I'm trying to learn about this person. If you don't reach these goals you have, what will happen? What is the cost? Right? So why now, essentially? Even though we talked about this on the sales call, it's good to have it again in the onboarding form. What motivates you to take daily action? Great question. What would make this experience a 10 out of 10 for you? What would make this experience unsatisfactory to you? What are your top 3 goals for the program? What are your top 3 personal goals? Right? So this is kind of more of how these outcomes will impact them. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you right now to reaching these goals and why? Because when someone fills this out, this goes and is stored in our database and we review this. And I'm going to share some more stuff with you, but our monthly check-in forms, our weekly check-in forms are all going to be underneath these answers in our Airtable database so that we can see, all right, how can we coach this person better if they're not hitting their targets? If they are hitting their targets, how can we give them praise? We want to learn more about this person and how we can really support them, okay? So let's come back to our model. So far, we've had a sales call. They've enrolled, they've paid us, they've signed their agreement. They've then completed an intake form. Again, we use Airtable for this. When I started, I used Google Forms, right? Google Forms or Typeform, something that's very easy for you to set up, okay? Now, once this is completed, you then want to schedule an onboarding call. An onboarding call is going to be a 30 to 60 minute call where you're going to set goals and you're going to set expectations of what it's going to be like to work with you. What's important to include in here is what is the communication going to look like when they're working with you? Are you going to use WhatsApp? Are you going to use text messages? Are you going to use emails? Are you going to use a third-party platform like TrueCoach? Tell them all of that and help them get set up with those systems on that onboarding call, okay? Part of this too is as you continue to grow, you're going to want to build out educational resources. Here's how to log into TrueCoach. Here's how to log into MyFitnessPal. Here's how to fill out your weekly check-in. You want to create those as you start signing more clients. When you're getting started, you don't need all these systems, okay? You do need to follow each of these steps, but you don't need to have everything automated, okay? All right, so real quick, I wanna walk through the onboarding form that I give all my private coaching clients. So I hit on the big topics already. Let me just walk you through what that call would be structured like, okay? So first thing is you're gonna set the agenda. Hey, thanks for today's call. On this call, we're gonna go over this, and we're gonna get clear on this, so that you can get started on Monday and be ready to go, okay? So set the agenda. We do this for sales calls too, but important to set the agenda. After you've done that, you're gonna do goal setting. Now you're gonna do goal setting for the time that person signed up. So if they signed up for a 6-month or a year-long program, you're gonna start there, and then you're gonna work down and chunk down into creating 90-day goals and 3-month goals. Those are very digestible and a lot easier to work towards. Especially because when we write the protocol we're going to do in the next section, the protocol is going to be typically monthly. So you write 1 4-week block. So that's why we want to set goals right at the 30-day mark. So once you guys have set the goals, you're then going to go over big picture of how you're going to get there. Okay? It's important for them to realize what they're doing now and also what they're going to be doing so they continue to have that buy-in. Step 4, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go back over their intake form. Okay, any questions that you had after reviewing the intake form, you're going to ask here. This could be questions around the logistics so you can create their protocol, but it could also be follow-up questions to what type of support works for them, etc. Part 5 is you're going to get them onboarded to any software and set that clear communication guidelines right then and there. So that could be opening up their phone, downloading all the apps on their phone. If you guys doing anything with Google Docs, TrueCoach, any of that, get them logged in on that call, because the sooner they can get logged in and start using it, the higher satisfaction they're going to have. Okay. And then part 6 of all this, once they're onboarded, is answer any questions they have so they feel really confident getting started. Okay. So those are the 6 parts of the onboarding experience that we have that I coach on. All right, cool. All right. So that's what we've done. We've done onboarding call now 2. The next thing you're going to do after you've had your onboarding call, you've set communication expectations, is you're going to create their protocol. Now, this is going to differ based off the coaching you provide. If you're a fitness coach, I highly recommend using TrueCoach. Okay, I'll have a link below to TrueCoach's website. You can check it out. They have a 14-day free trial. It's what I used as an online coach when I was doing one-on-one coaching, and it made my life so much easier. Okay, so that'll be linked below if you are looking for a coaching software to streamline the fulfillment. So when it comes to creating the protocol, like I shared in the last section, typically if you're doing any type of exercise work or nutrition work, all you need to do is create 1 week's worth of programming, and then you just repeat it by 4. Because most people need to do something for at least 4 weeks before they need more variation and variance. So for me, when I was doing more strength and conditioning, I would write, 4 to 5 days of workouts in 1 week. Okay. And then once it was done inside of TrueCoach, I would duplicate it, copy it to the next week, and I make some adjustments with, weight or number of reps, something like that. Duplicate it again for on the 3rd week. Same thing, adjust, maybe increase intensity or reps again, and then 4th week. And that was all I do, right? So I wrote 1 week of workouts and I would duplicate it 4 times. Okay, that was for workouts. For nutrition, it's going to be similar, right? If you're giving somebody macros, you're going to give them macros, and you're probably not going to adjust them for 4 weeks, especially if someone's getting started. So this really helps when we kind of come back to this section over here with the onboarding, is if we have a 30-day goal, all we have to do is, awesome, I got your protocol, I know what you need to do, I'm going to go create that for a month. And in that, and you're not going to change anything for the month. Okay, you don't have to make new workouts every day or new plans every week. I don't recommend that. That makes it a lot harder on you, and you're going to be working a lot more than creating one program that lasts for a full month, and then at the end of the month, check in with your client, make a new one. All right, so the next section is once that protocol is completed, I like to start people off on Monday. It's just they're excited to do that. So once you've completed it, you're either going to do one of 2 things. Number 1 is you can make a Loom video. So a Loom video is just a simple screen recording software that allows you to show what you've got on your screen so you can walk through the protocol step by step of what you're doing and why you're doing it. So you have some buy-in there, and then you can send it over to them. Okay, that's a really simple way. You can do a quick Loom video. It could be 5 to 10 minutes going over their program, send it to them, and have them watch it before Monday. The other option is you can have a call to go over the protocol. Now, if you do a call, it's just going to be a little bit longer before that person starts, right? Because if they have their onboarding call, let's say on a Wednesday, but you might need to have their protocol review call on Monday, so they would start the following week. It's up to you. The call is going to be higher value. So if you do that, I would make sure you're charging a premium and not anything less than like $300 or $400 a month. Okay. All right. Boom. So we've done that. They've got their protocol. They have any opportunity to ask questions, they can do that. Now, the next thing we're going to create and do is we want to have a weekly check-in process. Okay. Once a week, you're going to want to check in with people on their protocol. How's it going? Is there anything that needs to be changed, especially when they're getting started? Okay. Now, to do this successfully and also to do it in a more automated way is I'm going to encourage you to have a questionnaire. Okay. And look, when I started this questionnaire, I'm going to share with you the questionnaire that you can use. But when I started this, I would just use a very simple Microsoft Outlook, or you could use Gmail, and I would just blind carbon copy like BCC, and then copy and paste all of my clients and say, happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Here's one educational thing that I learned I wanted to share with you. And here's your check-in form for the week. Get this completed by Monday at X time, right? So you need to set that cadence for when you want it done. I typically would send my check-ins either Friday so that they would be done by Sunday, or I would send them on Sunday and I would review them Monday and give feedback on Tuesday. Currently, I like giving feedback and like them having all the feedback ready before Monday. So I would typically do a check-in now on Fridays, having it due at Sunday at noon. So that gave me time on Sunday afternoon to give feedback, update any protocols if I need to for the following week before the week got started. Cool? All right, so let's go dive into some of the questions that you can ask during your weekly check-in. Okay, so here, if you're doing more exercise programming, here are some questions to ask. What was the number one thing you were grateful for from this week's training? I always like to lead with wins, right? What are you grateful for? It just sets the tone for the rest of the questions. How would you rate your overall training this week? Right? How would you rate your level of fatigue? 0 out of 10. I'm looking for some objective numbers here, right? Were you able to do all your sessions this week? Yes or no? How was your sleep? How was your nutrition, right? Did you experience any pain? If so, tell me more. Do you have anything coming up this week that will make you need to adjust your training schedule? Valuable, because if we do, we can adjust that before the week starts. We know. Okay? So these are some really simple questions you can ask. Nutrition is going to be probably very similar. You're just going to have some more subjective questions and objective questions that are going to be a little different based off of their goals. So nutrition, what were your hunger levels? How would you rate your fatigue, right? How many days did you work out, sleep? Did you eat out this week? Did you meal prep this week? You can ask your own questions. Just keep them under 10 questions. It should be really simple. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? And you can deliver this via Google form. I think that's the easiest one to start with. So you can just create a very simple Google form and have all your questions there and send it out every single week and have a deadline for when you want your responses to get back to you. Okay? All right, so jumping back over here, they're going to complete the questionnaire, and then you're going to schedule in your calendar every single week a time to review the answers and review their compliance. So if you're using a software like TrueCoach or MyFitnessPal or any type of software that shows compliance, you're going to review that as well as the questionnaire that they completed, okay? Once you've reviewed that, you're going to send a personalized Loom video, again, screen recording, going over both things. So you can have their questionnaire pulled up, and you can also have the software pulled up, and you can say, hey, Billy, it looks like you hit 3 out of the 5 workouts this week. And in the check-in form, it looks like you ate out twice this week. Walk with me through what happened this week and what you're going to do this week to get back on track. It can be very simple. You don't need to dissect everything in a weekly check-in. All we're really looking for is the low-hanging fruit and setting one objective goal for the next week so that they can work towards something to improve their consistency. Because as we all know, consistency is the biggest factor that's going to help us go from where we're at to where we want to be. Cool? Okay, so that's the weekly check-in process. We're going to do that every week while we're working with people. Now, as I encouraged over here with the protocols being monthly, once a month, I encourage people to do a monthly check-in call, okay? I've found from my personal experience that if I just rely on questionnaires and text communication, I'm missing a huge part of what the client is experiencing. So if I can invite them to a call at the end of the month, and it can be a very short 15, 20-minute call where we can review their progress, hold them accountable, and then get any goals or changes that we need to make to the protocol for the following month, we can do that then and there. Okay? So monthly check-in call, we're going to go over the questionnaire, we're going to ask them how things are going. If they're crushing it, we have an opportunity to say, hey, well, do you mind if I send you a couple questions after this? And you can do a short just video testimonial for me? Of course, right? And there you go. There's some more marketing material for you. All right, so we're going to do that. And after the call, we'll update the protocol, right? And then again, we'll shoot the updates to the protocol over via Loom video. I wouldn't recommend doing a Zoom call for a monthly update because you had a monthly check-in call before that. That's just a lot of calls, okay? So you do that, send a Loom video feedback for the new updated protocol, and then finally, we'll do this whole process over again, right? Weekly check-ins, monthly. Weekly check-ins via questionnaire, monthly call. Keep doing that. Very scalable delivery system there. And then finally, last but not least, every 3 to 4 months, we want to do another goal-setting call, okay? So the onboarding call a big part of that onboarding call, like I said before, is where we set goals. I find that if we can do every 90 to 120 days, if we can hop back on a call and confirm, hey, when we started, these were our goals. These were our targets. Right now we're here. How do you feel about your progress? What do you want to work on in the next 90 to 120 days? And from there, we can set new goals and make a new protocol to get towards those goals. Now, a huge part of this, I started knowing my retention really started to skyrocket. Because anytime after 90 days, if someone got bored of working towards one goal, we could create more small short-term goals, and I could build a program to do that. So this kept people every 3 to 4 months continue to renew because we're going to work on something new. Now, to deliver a service like this, I'm going to encourage you charging at least around $350 to $500. You're doing a lot here. You're offering a monthly call. You're offering a goal-setting call, and you're doing weekly check-ins and giving communication on a consistent basis. It's worth that amount of money, okay? And that's typically why I like to do $2,000 packages plus, because that could be a 6-month program that you're selling for $2 to $3K, okay? And that's going to get somebody really good results. They're bought in, you're bought in, and you're delivering a lot of communication and accountability because that's what people need, right? That's what they need. They need accountability. Okay. All right. So that wraps up today's video. That is the coaching and fulfillment structure that we use in our business. And it's also what we give our coaching clients to grow their businesses too. It delivers a high value of service. It's high touch, and people will refer you friends because you're getting really good results. Okay. So I hope you found this valuable. If you guys are looking for support in growing and scaling an online health coaching business, there's going to be a link below to schedule a call with my team. We help coaches implement the system here, as well as teach them how to market and grow their business using Instagram. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll catch you next time.